Hello, my Psyquine students! Big news! The Noiramore Academy Kickstarter and free demo are now launched. Please check them out, let us know what you think, and support the project on Kickstarter if you're able. We need all the support we can get, so please check it out before the campaign ends on November 8th. Today, we're going to talk about scriptwriting, animation, and voice acting for the demo. First off, let's chat about scriptwriting. I used Google Sheets as my writing software due to our programmer, Caius, who created a special code script that could take the cells from the Google Sheet and easily import them into the engine with pre-made character tags and voice clip tags. This just means that it makes it much easier for us to import, organize, separate, and assign voice clips to each line. When writing for Noiramore Academy's demo, one of the things I had to really figure out was how to introduce the player to the world and characters relatively quickly, hopefully without overwhelming the player. Fantasy worlds can be tough to introduce people to, because you've got to explain a new species of people, a new society, their magic, a new planet, new characters, etc. Since this world is heavily inspired by 1940s America and Britain, I thought having a 40s-style commercial intro for the school would be a great place to start, since the very point of a commercial is to introduce and familiarize you with something. After establishing what a prim, proper, and polite place this school is, I put in a hard cut to Judith acting in a decidedly opposite manner to emphasize her personality. While the commercial segment helped to introduce the world and big concept of the game, this next part's purpose is to introduce the key characters and small-scale conflicts. We established Judith as a troublemaker, bring up her conflicts with the school staff, her attitude, her younger sister, and the personalities of the school's headmaster and Miss Nunatak, the resonetics teacher. Then Judith's craftiness and her love of puzzles is shown. After this, we switch to an in-engine cutscene establishing the average classroom interaction in this setting. The teacher talks about one of the most important lore segments of the game, which is the Onyx War. She then asks questions to the students, which I used as an opportunity to introduce some of the side student characters and their personalities. Lydia's drawing in class and looking bored. Gina is perched on her chair. Judith is sitting back, mostly uninterested. Becky and Nicholas answer the questions quickly and smartly. Marisol answers her question with a grim delight in the macabre aspects of the war. In total, these first few cutscenes are a bit long altogether, but I tried my best to use that time to introduce all the most important concepts and themes to the audience that they would need to enjoy the game going forward. Next, let's talk about voice acting. I primarily used a website called Backstage, as well as the Voice Acting Club Discord server, to seek out VAs for the project. I got many lovely auditions, but here is the cast list of the people we ultimately chose and hired. Judith Hovern is voiced by Susie Rye.
Good old Seabrook didn't rat me out, it seems.
Miss Nunatak and Nicholas Strumps are voiced by Ariana Nicole George.
Yes, Judith, that's extortion. The inked wastes is between the two fiefdoms. Plus, it was where we mined our ore for the rings.
Headmaster Claiborne is voiced by Phil Snyder, my dad.
Is that really what you're up to now?
Mrs. Grinsby is voiced by Margaret Ashley.
That's quite enough, Miss Aker. Oh, quite enough.
Becky is voiced by me. For now, anyway.
Yes, ma'am. The Onyx War was started due to Northberg spies sabotaging our resonetic ring production process.
Marisol Aker is voiced by Blair Green Osako, who also voiced Amanda in Amanda the Adventurer.
A series detailing the stories of serial killers. A tad graphic, I must admit, but also rife with educational content.
Gina Wendigon is voiced by Jasmine Pinna Chapman.
May the great bat, leader of our clan, bless you this day, and may your catch of wordings always be juicy.
Lydia Cabrera is voiced by Ariana Fox.
It'll all go over my horns anyway. Don't bother. I'll listen to a recording or something about the war later.
Deacon Vespshire is voiced by Neil Archbold.
Yeah, I've got a few sketches I'm working on. I don't know how I'm going to get enough wood or nails to finish my plans though.
Now let's dig into the animation. There were two types of animation used in Noiramore's demo. The first type was fully animated, pre-rendered animation done in Blender. The other was animation using pre-made blended animations in Unreal 5's sequencer feature, as well as utilizing the Unreal control rig. In the Blender animations, first I would set up the scene, create the set, import and pose the rigged models, do a bit of lighting, etc. Then I'd record a video of myself making movements synced with the voice-acted audio in order to get some good animation reference. These clips are then uploaded into Blender and put on a side panel so I can reference them frame by frame if need be. Using this reference, I pose and keyframe the characters. This is especially helpful for lip syncing. Once rendered, my sister made some lovely music for this scene, which really adds to the vibe. Now let's look at how the in-game dialogue animations were handled. First off, the pre-made expression animations made in Blender were imported into Unreal 5. Using Unreal's cutscene sequencer, we can drag and drop these pre-made animations into the timeline, and even blend them together to create the character's body expressions for each dialogue bit. In Blender, I'd made looping poses, as well as transitions from the base pose to the looping pose. This helps with making the poses more naturally move from one into the other. It's still not quite perfect, but I'm learning. So now we've got the body moving, but what about the head? Caius used the control rig features in Unreal to make an in-engine head rig. That way, we can layer on custom animations to the head, such as moving the eyes or bobbing the head along with the specific voice lines. But these blank expressions are really not cutting it. Let's add some facial expressions. In Blender, there's a feature called blend shapes, which are used to move pieces of the model in a way that is more convenient than just making a bunch of new bones. This feature is especially useful for making facial expressions. Smiles, frowns, blinks, and more can be created with blend shapes, and then, in-engine, combined together to create a variety of facial expressions. Now we can layer these expression animations on top of the body animations to add more personality to the characters. But here's the sticking point. What about the lip sync? A lot of dialogue-heavy games use auto lip syncing tools to generate it, because they have thousands of lines of dialogue that would take way too much time to lip sync by hand. Unfortunately, we do not have those tools. At least, not yet. So for the demo, Caius came up with a great workaround solution, using a control rig that controlled the jawbone and lip blend shapes together. This way, I was able to keyframe each dialogue line and have basic lip sync. It took a long time, but it was faster than doing completely accurate lip sync, like in the pre-rendered cutscenes. Hopefully for the final game, we'll be able to use an auto lip sync tool to help out with this part, considering how many pieces of dialogue there'll be. Right then, that's all for this video. Thank you to everyone for your support on the Kickstarter campaign so far. We've still got a ways to go, but I know we can get there. Please play the free demo and check out the Kickstarter using the links below. Thank you!